Hi, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be going over the Tone Analyzer node. The Tone Analyzer node is one of the many Watson nodes that are available in Node-RED. So, what does this node do? Well, it uses analysis to detect and interpret emotions, social tendencies, and language style cues found in text. As you can see, there are two different methods. There's a general tone method and a customer engagement method. The customer engagement method is currently in beta right now. So the customer engagement tone method can be useful for customer service agents who want to accurately detect and analyze how a customer is feeling based on what they say. The general tone method can be used to analyze short form text like tweets and reviews or longer documents like articles and blog posts. So let's get started and see how it works. So to get started, we're going to head over to Bluemix and download the Tone Analyzer service so that we can connect it to our Node-RED. So head over to Bluemix, go to the catalog, and search for Tone Analyzer. Click on the service. We're going to leave it unbound. And then we're going to select the free version. And we're going to go down here and click Create. Once that's created, you'll be brought to a page that looks like this. Once you're here, we're going to head to the service credentials, view credentials, and these are the credentials we're going to input into our Node-RED node. So copy the username and paste that in the username column right here, and do the same for the password. Now that we have our username and password in there, let's configure this node. So for this example, we're going to keep it on the general tone. And since this is the first example, we're just going to select all tones, but if you wanted, you can select each individual tone and analyze the certain text through each individual tone. We're going to set sentences as true. What this means is that if you have multiple sentences in your text, it's going to analyze each sentence one by one and provide you even further insight on what that text is trying to say. And we're going to leave our content type as a text. So click Done. Now we're going to drag out an inject node and a debug node. Wire those together. And now we're good to go. Double click on your inject node, change the payload to a string, and now we can input whatever text we want. I have a text document of some reviews that I just pulled on from Amazon. So we're going to copy this first review right here, paste that in the payload. And as you can see, the review is pretty negative. It's a review about a TV and it says absolute garbage. Had the TV less than a month and it's stuck in an endless cycle of freezing and rebooting. So that's a pretty negative review. Let's see if Watson Tone Analyzer can detect that. So click Done, head over to the debug node and change the output to message.response. Click Done, deploy, and we're going to inject that sentence that we just put in. As you can see, this is the output that you're going to get. So we're going to further dive down into the document tone first. As you can see, you're provided with a lot of info. So let's go through this one by one and see what everything means. So first, we have the emotional tone. And the emotional tone is broken up into 5 different tones. There's anger, disgust, fear, joy, and sadness. And as you can see, each tone has its own respective score. So the tone analyzer believes on a scale from 0 to 1, the person that wrote this review is 0.23 angry, 0.28 disgusted. They have a fear of 0.13, joy of 0.03, which is pretty low, which is pretty accurate because they call the TV completely garbage, and a score of 0.55 for sadness, which is also pretty accurate. Diving down even further, we have the language tone. which has three subsets: analytical, confident, and tentative. Diving into the language tone category, the tone analyzer believes that the person who wrote this review is 0.28 analytical, 0.96 confident, which is very confident, and 0 tentative. If you want to get further info on what any of these tones mean, you can just go to the info tab and check out the documentation. There's also a link provided on the GitHub repo. But essentially, analytical just means a person's reasoning and analytical attitude about things. Confident is just a person's degree of certainty, and tentative is a person's degree of inhibition. So now diving even further down into the social tones, as you can see, there are also 5 different kind of tones. First, we have openness. Second, we have conscientiousness. Third, we have extroversion. We have agreeableness and emotional range. As you can see, the highest score in this category is openness with a score of 0.70. And these are all the other scores right here. Openness just means the extent a person is open to experience a variety of activities. Like I said, once again, if you want to know what any of these mean, you can check out the link in the GitHub, or you can check out the documentation right here. And this is what I mentioned about the sentences. When you have sentences turned on to true, it's going to analyze every sentence one by one and give it its own tones. As you can see, this is the first sentence right here, absolute garbage. So it's going to analyze that just like it did the whole sentence above and give it its own scores. So you can go through those and get an even deeper insight on what the person is trying to say sentence by sentence. Okay, so now let's try a positive review. We're just going to drag in this review right here and paste that right in the payload. Click done. For this positive review, let's change it up a bit. We're just going to analyze the emotion. We're going to change sentences to false because I want to analyze the review as a whole. We're going to click done, deploy that, and then inject it. As you can see, there's no sentences option this time, just a document tone. And inside the document tone, there's only one array versus 3 last time. So diving further down, as you can see, it only has the emotion tone. And now let's check out the scores for each. As you can see, Joy has a very high score of 0.93. And this is very accurate because this is a very positive review. It reads, great price, very lightweight, really easy to install, nice picture quality, good sound, and I love that there is one remote for everything. Couldn't be more pleased with this purchase. This is a very positive review, so I'm not surprised that Joy received such a high score. So that's it for today. Hopefully you learned something. Goodbye.